Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Tennis on Point, the show where we just look at the basic insights of tennis, all right, which are very much suitable for any primary school in Zimbabwe. Now, after last week, we had to get this man back, our amazing head of department, tennis head of department at Whitestone, Mr. Zenzo Ndlovu. Mr. Ndlovu, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. G. Thank you.
Awesome. Now, today will be very much similar to the last show, except we'll be looking at the different questions. So let's get right into it. Now, Mr. Ndlovu, I see you've brought some tennis balls here. Beautiful tennis balls. Now, can you please name the different types of balls, how they work relative to the other, and at what level are they used at?
Okay, thank you, Mr. G. Basically what we've got 4 different types of tennis balls. I'll start off from my end. We've got the red dot, which they come in different designs. As you can see, we've got one with the red strip going half the tennis ball and one with the red dot. But basically, the properties are the same. With the red ball, what happens is when you teach a beginner, someone who's never played tennis before, I would suggest you use this ball because of different reasons. The amount of pressure that is in the ball, the level of the bounce that is on the ball, and the size of the ball compared to the rest of the tennis balls. So at a range of percentage, I would say this ball bounces at 25% compared to the rest of the tennis balls. The next ball is the orange dot, which also comes in different designs. As you can see there, we got one with the strap and one with the dot. This bounces at 50% compared to the rest of the tennis balls. And the next one is the green dot, which again comes in different designs, which is 2 types of design. This one bounces at 75%. And the last one, obvious, that's our standard tennis ball, which is used in tournaments, pro players, under 12 going upwards. This bounces at 100% relatively compared to the other tennis balls. That's what I can say in brief.
Amazing. Now you know why we always have to get him on the show. Now, let's look at the racket. What characteristics should one look at when selecting or purchasing a tennis racket that is suitable for them? So, Mr. Ndlovu, if I was to get into a tennis shop or a sporting shop and I wanted to buy a tennis racket, what characteristics should I look at?
All right. Again, the approach is the same with the tennis balls. There are so many things that you need to look at, depending on your level of play, depending on how strong you are, depending on your height and so on. But I'll explain it basically. If you're looking at a child who's beginning to play tennis, obviously they're short. You can't expect them to use a bigger racket. So they come in different sizes, as in the length of the racket. So for a baby, you would definitely buy a short one. They are measured in centimeters or inches. So the beginners, when they're babies, there are 21-inch rackets, which are way shorter than this. We've got the 23-inch, we've got the 24, the 25, the 26, and the biggest size that we got is the 27-inch, which is used by pro players and people that have been playing tennis for quite some time. Other factors or characteristics that you need to look at are things like the strings, the type of the string. Here I'm talking about maybe pro players that know what they want and how they want to hit that ball. So we've got different types of strings. We've got different tension of the strings as well. So some players prefer low tension, some players prefer high tension. Then we've got the pattern. The pattern consists of the mains and the crosses. Again, the racket comes in different designs. Some rackets have 16 and 16, some rackets have 16 and 19, some rackets have 19 and 21, depending on the head size. Another characteristic that you need to look at is the size of the head. They come in different sizes again. And the other one is the frame itself, the material that makes up the frame. And of course, the weight of the racket. And lastly, I'll look at the handle, the grip. They also come in different sizes. We've got 4 1/4, 4 2/4, 4 3/4. This determines how thick or how thin the grip is. So there's a lot to consider when you're selecting or choosing a racket to use.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think next time I go to a shop, I better take him. I can't do this by myself, but I am learning. Right, now, let's get into our third question. In our previous show, we looked at how one may gain or lose a point. Now, looking at it in depth, may you please explain how the scoring system works in tennis?
All right. Yeah, there's so many things that are involved again in gaining and losing a point in tennis. As I explained in the last show, that's obvious both in doubles and the singles matches, one would lose or gain points in so many different ways. So the scoring system, I'll start from the point itself, the accumulation of the points making up a game, the accumulation of games making up a set, and the accumulation of sets making up a match. So again, it will depend what you and your opponent agree on, what you play, or if you're playing in a tournament, it will differ from one tournament to the other. But basically, the first point that you win in tennis is 15. The second point that you win is 30. The following point, that's the third one, it's 40. And then the point after 40 is game. So that makes one game. So if I win the first point, we normally say the points of the person who's serving first. 15 love, or 15-0, which is 15 love. My second point would be 30 love. My third point would be 40 love. If you happen to get a point after 40 love, so it means now the points are 40, 15. So I always start saying the points of the person who's serving first.
Okay.
Right. But if we do happen to get to 40, 40, both of us, now whoever wins the point after 40 is not a game. It goes to what's called juice. Now for you to win the game, you have to win 2 straight points after 40-40 or after juice to make a full game, to make one game.
Okay.
So from juice, your next point will be advantage. So you need to win another point that will take you to a full game.
Okay.
Yes. After you've won that game, so it means you've got 1, I've got love, I've got 0. You have to win at least 6 games with a difference of at least 2 for you to win a set. So at 6 love, that would be a full set.
Right.
6-4, that's a full set. But if it's 6-5, the set continues until you win by 7-5. But if we get to 6-0, we play what is called a tiebreak. Again, it depends with the type of tournament and where you are playing, like as in level. So as I was explaining, that if you get to 6-0, now we play what is called a tiebreak. This is where the points are counted as like volleyball counts, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, the accumulation of the points, you have to get to 7 with a difference of 2 for you to win that full set.
All right.
I think I'll have to explain maybe in another show how the tiebreak works. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. What an explanation. What an explanation. All right. Just to close off the show, Mr. Ndlovu, I would like you just to clarify something that has always bothered me. Firstly, why do we term having no point love? And why is it that we score and count like 15, 30, 40 game? Why those specific values?
Very interesting question. I've played tennis for years and I also didn't know. Yeah, but I only found out maybe in the last 10 or so years how this whole scoring system started. So I'll explain first with the love. So when the 2 players start playing, they both love the game. They both love each other on the court. They both have the love for the game. So that's why they begin at 0-0. That's why they begin at love. So whoever gets the first point, they go to 15. And the person who would have lost the point, they still love the game. That's why it said they've got love. So we started love. I win the first point, I'm on 15. You are still loving the game. So that's how it came about. Then the scoring part is in the figures that you were wondering how they came about.
Yes.
When tennis started, they used a clock as in the system of the scoring, like a face clock, and they used the minute hand. So what I've got here, I don't know if you're going to see clearly. If you were to win the first point, so the clock was divided into quarters, which gives us 4 quarters to make the whole 60 minutes. So if I were to win the first point, I'll move my minute hand quarter way, which is 15. So that would be 15, you are still on love. The second point would be 30. I'm on 30, you're still on love. The third point was 45. And the last point was back to game, which is a full game, which makes 1. So that's how the scoring system started. But they realized, no. It's not fair for those 2 opponents to get to quarter 2, both of them, and whoever wins the next point wins the game. So they came up with another system where they decided, if these guys get up to same score just before the game, they would call it juice. But there should be at least difference of 2 points before the person completes the game. So they dropped down the minute hand to 40. Right. So now you realize your first point will be 15, second point 30, third point will be 40. If you get up to 40 as well, we are both on 40-40, which leaves a gap of 20 minutes in between. So that 20 minutes divided by 2 will be 10 minutes. So your next point after juice, which is 40-40, will be advantage at 10-2. Clear? So that's how it works. If I lose the point on advantage, which is 10-2, I'll go back to 40, which is juice. So that's how the scoring system came about.
I
Hope that
have
explains.
been answered. I have been answered. Thank you so much, Mr. Ndlovu. Well, that brings us to the end of our show. All right. Starting from next week, we'll be on the courts. Okay. So please keep tuned in, keep watching Tennis on Point. And I'd like to give very much a big thank you to Mr. Ndlovu for coming on our show. Thank you, Mr. Ndlovu.
Thank you, Mr. G.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for watching Tennis on Point.